What is up, guys? Again, thank you so much for stopping by at the channel. Before we get started, I want you guys to hear this bad boy. And that's going to be your 68 millimeter street turbo, and it has the high flow vanes. It is the works. This is like the best of the best in my scenario right here. Since my goal ultimately is to reach 700 horsepower with the Duramax. I'm not too far off though. And this is the company that I decided to get the turbo from. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the Duramax up. Most of you guys that watch my channel already know what the truck sounds like, but we're gonna go ahead and clip it right to Ryan's diesel service at his business, at his shop. We're gonna show you guys the process. Another gold content video right here, just like Mark. Now I know that you guys have heard of Ryan. I know I've introduced him into the channel, but that's Mark's son. Ryan owns his own company, Ryan's Diesel Service, and he actually CNC and remanufactures these turbos just like these right here. I am super pumped about this right here, this content right here. He's actually going to tear apart a turbo. He's going to have a CNC machinist machine and bore the center of that turbo itself. And then we're going to talk about some of the inner workings of it. So this is a pretty big deal. If you guys are going to get a turbo, a remanufactured turbo, or even a new turbo, and you guys want to open up that hole and have it receive a 64, 66, 68, whatever the case is, this is probably your best bet. Because again, it all comes down to the builder. All right, so let's go ahead and start the truck. I want you guys to hear this LBZ. It sounds beautiful. I always love starting my truck. It's just addicting. It's so addicting. But it's not just about sound, it's the way it flows and the way it performs as well, but it does have a great whistle. So anyways, guys, watch this content, watch this video from start to finish. It is awesome stuff. So thanks for stopping by, guys. If this is your first time stopping in, consider subscribing to the channel. Enjoy.
So here we have a brand new unit. This unit here we're going to go ahead and get apart. We're going to actually go do a couple different changes. This unit we're actually going to do a polished compressor cover on it. First we got to go get it apart and do some machining and everything like that to it. So we'll go ahead and start. Pull these bolts out here. These hold our compressor cover down. These compressor covers normally we'd machine out. In this case, on this order, what we're going to do is it's actually going to get, like I say, polished. So we'll set this one on the side for the time being. Like I say, normally this compressor cover, we'd actually machine this out so that it looks 100% stock appearing. We'll clamp here. That way we can get the center section off the exhaust housing. Compressor wheel off here. Turbine shaft out. See the spacer and the one bearing is still in there. At this point we'll go ahead then move to the backing plate. Pull that. Say these bearings here, you can see they're smooth, where our HD bearings actually have a groove that's cut in here and there's more material that ride on here. Everything else is the same for the most part in this kit, but like I say, this is a big thing that we do, like I say, with the updated bearings. Like I say, we'll literally take these bearings and throw them straight in the garbage. At that point, the center section will be ready to go in for machining. A couple different areas that we do some machine work on and that sort of thing to go and allow the rotating assembly that we run. So at that point we put that guy on the side, that'll go over to machining. This is actually where your vanes are. This is where a lot of guys will say that, you know, I'm having, you know, maybe a P003A code or a P2563. A lot of guys will say either my vanes are sticking, which could be a possibility. It's generally either the vanes or your actual unison ring here will actually seize to the center section. In some cases, like on a remans, usually when we get them back, it's usually the unison ring will seize and stuck here. Rides right here, and usually we'll see it'll be stuck on here. In some cases we'll actually have where the unison ring will actually break here because this actuator is trying to force past it, so at which point in time then we'll go ahead and replace it, make sure everything looks good, that the rod's good and everything like that. At this point, this exhaust housing is ready to go to machining. One thing that is nice that Egr actually did is they actually go and have this opening bigger from the factory. So if you're buying a brand new OE unit, you can look on Josh's old unit here and see there's a lot more material that's left on there. Where on here they actually already have this opened up, so when we come in to make our pass and actually go and machine out, there's not a whole lot of material we have to take out, being that it's already hogged out. So that is one sweet thing that they do. So we'll get both these pieces over to the machining center and start working on it.
By the way, we do have the Rustbelt Mechanic. He is documenting this as well, so make sure you guys check out his YouTube channel.
As well as Truck Master also coming in for the assist and doing some video photography as well.
So we're going to get the turbo into the machining center, get everything set up ready to machine. We're going to take some material out of this for a bigger turbine. So we got our part indicated in there. We're going to start to cut. We're going to take out the bore first in a couple passes. Being that when you're dealing with the remans, the first pass is a ghost pass. It's just barely going to touch off on the sides. You get some of the remans are really crusty on the inside. You don't want to just dive into some of that.
With the so that's coolant right there. That's what's shooting right there.
Yep, we got coolant which is coming on our end mill just to keep the tool and the chips cool coming off of there. Prolongs life of tool and gets a better finish on your cut. And we're gonna, when we're done with this, it's gonna be able to take a bigger turbine.
What size turbine are we going to be putting into this one today?
This will receive a 66 when it's all done. So now it's going to drop down and continue, so we bore all the way through to the exhaust. But as we showed you earlier, on these housings are actually counterbored from the backside bigger than your turbine bore, which makes these easier to do. Alright, so this is completion of our first pass.
Guys, at this point, this is the finished product.
So we got the exhaust housing all done for machining. We'll blow it off a little bit more before final assembly and do a wash on it. But basically, Eric went, he opened up this diameter here to accept the larger turbine. As you can see, this turbine is significantly larger than what would have came out of this. This turbine here is going to be a 10 blade. This is a 13 blade. So this wheel here is going to flow more. Like you say, this wheel will go, drop, sit right down in there and everything like that. Like you say, once we're done here, we'll put this exhaust housing in the wash tank, get it all cleaned up, get it looking good. We'll go ahead and start final assembly, start putting our vanes back in. On this specific order, the customer didn't request high flow vanes. He doesn't really need them, doesn't have the need. It's a 64 millimeter unit. So we'll just go ahead and put the stock vanes back in, put the unison ring back in, and like I say, get this one going, ready to go back together. So the one big question we always get asked is differences, LOI customers especially. You know, they say I already have a 63.5 millimeter turbo. Why should I go to a 64 mil? Here's the big thing that I normally tell guys is this. Yes, you do. Factory, you could definitely go and take that compressor cover off. It would go fit right over this compressor wheel, the whole 9 yards. The one thing that I tell guys is this. Big things. Now granted, this isn't an LOI rotating assembly. We'll use this for an example though. Things that I tell guys obviously is going to be that the turbine is a prime example of having a 13 blade versus a 10 blade. Our aftermarket is a 10 blade. The other big difference that you can see is the compressor wheel size. This is a 6 blade wheel versus this is a 10 blade. The other thing is this is a cast wheel versus a billet aluminum. One thing I tell guys, you know, I've had some guys, you know, well, you're trying to scam people and why are you doing this? It's real simple. If that's the case, you know, these turbos, the 64s, are rated out at 650 horse, you know, rear wheel horsepower. I tell guys, I'll tell you right now, you're not going to make that with your factory cast rotating assembly. So it's one big thing that, you know, yes, I get it. You do have a 63.5, but there's definitely differences in the unit that way. That's going to get you that 650 horsepower. So basically, like we were saying when we took these units apart, these are kind of the differences. This is actually an OE Garrett bearing, where this is actually the HD bearing that we put in there. We like to put this in there. It's a heavier duty bearing. You can see the oiling groove down in the center and everything like that. Like I say, even though this is a brand new bearing out of that stock unit that we just took out of the box, we literally take this, throw it in the garbage, and we'll go ahead and put our upgraded bearing in there. So on our turbos too, then when we assemble them, all new bearings, thrusts, the spacers, all new bolts, gaskets, everything is going to be replaced on these units. Nothing O-ring wise ever ran over on any of our units. Start to finish, we'll literally go strip everything out, throw it all in the garbage. Like I say, even on our brand new units that are coming in, these are literally from Garrett. We'll still take everything out, throw it all in the garbage, and like I say, put all new stuff in there.
Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a lot of fun making the video, and man, it's just so cool to be able to provide some of that content to you guys. If you guys want to go ahead and just reach out to him and possibly consider a setup just like me, go ahead and check him out. I have a coupon code for him. If you guys go to his website and Mark's as well, it's going to be Truckmaster. But other than that, guys, I appreciate your time. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.